to me, and he goes, "Oh, pray for me." I said, "Okay, why?" He said, "Sabrina just had an emergency. She's got to take off, and I'm going to the nursery." He said, "You want to talk fear?" The fear in his eyes was like, everybody doing all right? Having a good day? Good day. Be in the house of the Lord, right? I know there's a lot of parties going on. I know there's graduation parties and Memorial Day picnics and people thinking about things and people are on vacation and they're traveling here and there. But you know, I'm encouraged. I know at least 2 families that are camping this weekend and they got up and come to church this morning. And you know, that's just encouraging to me that even when they're camping on the weekend, that they'll actually get up and come to church and take time out to worship the Lord. I just want to thank God that I am blessed to have people as part of the church to do that. Appreciate you. Hey, we're in our 3rd week of discussing getting unstuck in things. And I put something on Facebook yesterday, I think it was. Rarely do I post anything, but when I do, I just kind of see what's going on. So I put on there, I am afraid of, and then I said, fill in the blank. And man, we had some comments on there, and it was just touching that the things that we are afraid of. And some of them are near and dear to us, and others are different things, you know. And so, you know, there's some people that are afraid of, that they have fear so bad that they can't even leave the house. You know, the phobia is so bad that they can't even leave the house. And I've watched documentaries on those individuals, and sometimes they'll be in the house for like 20 years and are just afraid to go outside because they're afraid of everything that's going to happen in life. And so, what are you afraid of? What are you really afraid of in life? So I can see right now that, you know, you're not the person that's so afraid of things that you won't go outside. But we all have some sort of fear, should we not? I mean, we have a fear of, I'm not a big fan of bats. Not like a baseball bat, but you know, something that zings around my head real close, I'm like, oh. Kind of have those fears. I grew up in I was born in '64, and I had a lot of those movies about rats and Godzilla and bees and Cujo. We want to talk about scary. You pull up to someone's house that you don't know, and that dog's looking at you in the window like, "Come on out, let's play." I'm like, oh, I'm scared about this, you know. So it's kind of odd. I do have some fears about things, but as I've gotten older, I'm like, okay, I can't run real fast. Go ahead and make it quick. You know, bike right here. But we get afraid of things, and so today I want to start off with prayer. We'll jump in by giving a definition of fear. So let's go ahead and pray. Father God, I come to you right now. Thanks so much for many blessings you've given us. And Father, as we look at things that we can get unstuck out of, we get in a rut where we're not moving forward, we're not conquering things. And so, God, we ask that today as we talk about fear, that you will point out in our lives the things that we may be afraid of. Father, that we can conquer those. We are more than conquerors, and we'll see that in your word today. So, Father, speak to us today. Father, we know we have people out traveling, we have people at graduation parties that's traveling, and Father, our seniors will be getting recognized in a few weeks, but God, we know that life continues on. So Father, we ask that you would have your hand upon each and every individual here that's each part of this church. We love you, we thank you, I'll give you all the glory. And we ask it in Jesus' name, amen. All right, so today, if you're wanting to look at something, I just want you to look at this could be our definition of fear as we start, and we're going to change that definition as we grow, okay? So understand this, that fear is a distressing emotion aroused by the anticipation of pain, harm, or loss. This past, what was it, Friday, Tricia, a good friend of ours, She was a part of our youth group. I performed her wedding. Her house burned down. And it was a house that they built. And great couple. And they had 2 young kids. And the kids are outside sitting beside the house as it's in shambles. And total loss. And she's like, these kids were great. I'm like, I'd be freaking out. You know? What? That could be a pretty bad nightmare or something that you worry about. But she's kind of like, okay, we're good. God's got this. And I'm like, praise the Lord. You've got some faith right there. Good job. So fear is a distressing emotion aroused by the anticipation of pain, harm, or loss. A lot of parents do that with their children when it comes to obeying. You better fear me. You know, my dad, I go to sleep at church. I feared his flick. He could flick you on the back of the head. He could slap you. I started crying even before the belt come out. Okay? I tried to play on his emotions. Never worked. But anyway. Hey, listen, parents. My parents used the belt on me or anything they could grab hold of. That was close. Okay? I turned out all right. I don't hate my parents. Not all my problems in the world are blamed on me getting beat on the bus. The Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. Okay? That wasn't in my notes, but it didn't cost anything extra. So, here's the thing. I grew up, I had probably the orneriest brother and sister in the world. Okay? I grew up scared to death of the boogeyman. And I would watch those movies, like this. Oh, God. Oh! And for some reason, we like to be somewhat scared, but then they start playing tricks on our mind. And so my brother actually even took that a little further. I know I've told this once before, but maybe you're visiting, and since he's not here, I'll tell it again. We shared the same room down in South Point. We lived in South Point, Ohio for a while, and our beds were on each side of the room. And he would always try to scare me throughout the night, and we had a long hallway that went back to the kitchen and the bedroom in this dream house, and he'd say, the boogeyman's going to get you. And at times he would hide in the bathroom or off the bedroom and jump out and scare me to death. I see you survived. Or you've abandoned your post. I can't take your fear. I've already talked about you, brother. You have to get the CD. All right. So anyway, I was scared to death, and so to go to bed in the dark was kind of scary. And I could overcome it. And then one night I was laying up against the wall like this, and my brother, he still swears that he didn't do this, climbed under the bed and grabbed hold of my arm and pulled me off to the side like something got me. So the fear of pain and loss I was experiencing, and my mind was a whole lot worse than what was really happening, okay? And isn't that how fear works? It arouses an emotion or fear of pain or loss, or the boogeyman's going to get it. Still today, I look out for the boogeyman. Let's look at God's Word. Let's go to 2 Timothy 1:7. So if we go to 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. And if you're visiting, there are certain words I have problems saying, and you might hear one today in this verse. That's okay. I'm overcoming the fear of saying Timothy. No, not Timothy. Timidity. Timothy. Is everybody there? All right. Don't be timid. For God has not given us a spirit of timidity, but of power and love and discipline. Now, I want you to notice something before we go any further here. Notice that the word Spirit, it's not talking about the Holy Spirit living in the individual at this time. What it's saying is, and what it's saying is, it's actually our mind, our emotions, and our pattern of thinking, our spirit as far as our life, how we program and how we do things in our life, in our mind, in our heart, and our actions. So it's not one. God did not give us a spirit of fear. And if you have a fear that is continually in your life, week in, week out, you're afraid, listen to me, God gives you a reason to fear things, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But if it's continually a fear in your life, that's not from God. Did you hear me? What I'm saying is, if you got a fear and you're like, well, I'm afraid about this pastor. Well, I'm afraid about this pastor. Well, I just keep, and sometimes I talk to people and they're afraid of the same thing all the time. That's not from God. That's from Satan trying to control your mind, trying to control your emotions, trying to control your actions. And if they can get you defeated to the point where you never leave the house, boy, he is won. So, a spirit of fear. A spirit of fear. Now, there's three things that a spirit of fear does. First of all, a spirit of fear embraces the negative. It embraces the negative. Take your Bibles and turn to Numbers. Chapter 13. We'll go to the Old Testament for a minute. Keep something in 2 Timothy. We're going to keep coming back and forth there. Numbers chapter 13, verse 25 through 28. And here is the account when the spies were checking out the promised land that God had said, hey, this is the land flowing with milk and honey. I'm going to give you this property. I'm going to give you this land. Look what it says right here. Remember, a spirit of fear embraces the negative. When they returned from spying out the land at the end of 40 days, they proceeded to come to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation of the sons of Israel in the wilderness of Paran and Kadesh. And they brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. So just kind of follow along, just be with me here. They brought back some of the fruit. They brought back some of the land of milk and honey, and they told them, said, we went into the land where you sent us, and it certainly does flow with milk and honey. And this is its fruit. Okay? So, yep, everything God said, this is the land, it's flowing milk. It surely does flow with milk and honey. But something happens here. Look at verse 28. Nevertheless, the people who live in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. And moreover, we see the descendants of Anak there. See, they embrace the negative. Hey, it's the land flowing with milk and honey. Yeah, I'm telling you, here's some of the fruit. However, but they got some pretty big cities there. And they're all fortified. It doesn't look good for us. Mark and I said this a few times. A lot of times we take our eyes off God and focus on our problems. Our problems are a lot bigger than what God can take care of. That's what they just did. They focused on the negative. Yeah, I see. The land is flowing milk and honey, but their cities are fortified. We might not be able to take them over. And so fear starts setting in and embrace the negative. What have you got going on in your life where you start focusing on the negative? Hey, you know what? We got a financial crisis. I'm not sure we can get over this thing. And we start, well, I got this bill, got this bill, got this bill. Hey, kids going to go college, you graduate. You see what I'm saying? And then you got some guy at the pulpit saying, we need to tithe. I just can't do it all. And so we start focusing on the negative. Well, I'm going to lose my car. Hey, how big's our God? What? Is he big? We can consume our minds with negative thoughts. Very negative. And that's next week's sermon. Okay? The second thing, the spirit of fear enlarges the enemy. Look at Numbers 13, 28, 29. That's what it says there. I will go to the end of verse 28. We saw the descendants of Anak there. Now go on to verse 29. Amalek is living in the land of the Negeb, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Amorites are living in the hill country, and the Canaanites are living by the sea and by the side of the Jordan. Why do you think they mentioned all those names? Because they knew who they were. They knew that they were fortified, they were fierce fighting people. And so they started going, well, you know what? In order to take that land over, you got to take over these people. Guess what? To take that land over, you got to take over these people. And not just those two, you got to take this people, and this people, and this people. And you got to be shaking in your boots. Don't you understand how bad things are? Isn't that what we do in our fears? We start going, well, I got this and we got this. And I just can't overcome these people. I can't do any better. I can't. You're right, you can't. You can't. You know, a spirit of fear looks through a magnifying glass at our problems and enlarges them and then make it seem like it's unconquerable. Like, you know what? I start looking at my problems and I start thinking about what's going on, and man, I don't think I can climb that mountain. I just don't think I can do that. Go to Romans for a second. Romans chapter 8. And if you don't have this verse underlined, you need to. Romans 8:37. Romans 8:37. But in all these things, we overwhelmingly conquer through Him who loved us. And what things? What? Say it loud. Not just a little bit. Not just health issues. Not just financial issues. Not just children issues. Not just job work issues. You see what I'm saying? It says, what things? All things. We are overwhelmingly. In fact, some translations say, we are more than conquerors. We are more than conquerors. We overcome all things. All things. All right. Some of you believe it, some of you don't. Let's go to verse, the third thing. The third thing is the spirit of fear engages your worst fears. Go back to Numbers 14. Numbers chapter 14, verse 2 through 4. Look what it says here. All the sons of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole congregation said to them, Would that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would that we had died in this wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us into this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and our little ones will become plunder. Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt? So they said one to another, Let us appoint a leader to return to Egypt. Years ago, I was a youth pastor, and New Year's Eve, I did some things to prove a point. And I went to Petland, Trish and I did, and we bought a few things that really people are scared of. Nothing was major. It was really just a bunch. I bought a bunch of them little feeder mice. You know what I'm talking about? If you got a snake, you get those feeder mice. And I put them in a box. Now here's the funny thing. They chewed through the box and went wild through the church. And I only caught like 4 of the 6 or 7 of them. But it worked pretty good because I had this clear box, and you had to reach into, and you had to take a bolt and a nut, and you had to put the note. It's kind of like off the Fear Factor, you know. And those mice, they just climb all over you. And I'm telling you what, them girls, they were like, oh, the mouse! That's just a big, you know. I'm catching them. And, that's 2. Okay, so don't put mice in a shoebox. I'm telling you, those 2 right there. Okay, so then they had to do that, and then my wife made some noodles, egg noodles, and I called them something else. And they picked it up and it was slimy and water flipped off. And I can't eat that. I said, come on, you gotta eat it. You got your food back to your teeth. And one guy recognized it, Ben Siders, and he goes, that's an egg noodle. And he ate the whole thing. If you knew what I was calling it, there was nobody would eat it. But the third thing I had was a box that said, be careful, tarantulas. Now they'd seen the egg noodle, and they'd seen the mice, and what I did was I put pipe cleaners in there. So when you would reach your hand in there, you thought you felt the leg of a spider. I could get no one to reach into that. They would say, oh! I said, hey, I said someone put 911 on your phone and get ready to call, because if it bites them, I don't want anybody dying. I played this up big time. Guess what? Their minds thought the worst. And that's exactly what we all do, including right here in the Bible, where they thought that the fortified cities were so strong, so fortified, that they thought, listen to me, how our minds work, that they would rather go back into slavery than to go on to see what God had for them. Before the first battle, they had already given up. They were ready to throw in the towel because they looked at all the negative things. They enlarged them. Their mind went to the worst. Hey, do you know what they're going to do to our wives? Do you know what they're going to do to our children? They're going to be slaves to these people. You know, they mentioned all these things, and if you go back through the report, you'll not find one time from the spies, from the 8 of the 10 that come back, that said anything, listen to me, about God. None of them said, hey, that's what Caleb did. Okay. Hey, God can outdo that. Hey, God can get you through that. Hey, God can get, hey, guess what? Listen to me. Are you a Christian sitting here today? Then you've got nothing, and I mean nothing at all, to fear. Amen. You got a God that loves you. Guess what? If I die today, I pray I don't, but here's the thing. If I do, I'm going into glory land. Amen. I don't have to worry about this. Don't let fear be your worst nightmare. If you do some more reading, here's the thing. They whined about it all night long. The guys come back and give the report, and then they had the night to think about it. And do you ever stay up all night worrying? You know what you need to do? You need to do some email. Amen. All right? Get on your knees. Turn it over to God. Get back up and go back to sleep knowing He's in control. Amen. Fear. Go back to 2 Timothy. We can turn there. We're done in the Old Testament. 2 Timothy, as far as Numbers. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. God gave us 3 traits to overcome fear. 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us a spirit of timidity, but the power, love, and discipline. But power, love, and discipline. You know, just like the Hebrew children, they could justify the past. They knew what to expect from Egypt. They knew that, hey, we're about to make bricks. It's going to be hard. And you know, Pharaoh, sometimes he might make us go do these things, and they might try to increase the brick load, and we'll be slaves to them. But at least we'll have a place to live. And isn't it funny how we can justify something that God really doesn't want for us? Yeah. Just because we're afraid of what the future holds. I remember I surrendered into the ministry. I sat down with the pastor, John Burris, and I sat down with him, and I'll never forget, I sat in there and he said, Tony, if you can be happy doing anything else, go do it. I'm like, what? You think another preacher would want me to get in the ministry? He said, I'm telling him, if you do anything and be happier doing it, go do it. And this was my response. And I'll never forget it. I said, I am more afraid not to go into the ministry than to go in the ministry. I was leaving a 6-figure job, company truck, expense report flying all over the country. I didn't worry about anything whatsoever. And I was going down to less than half of that in salary. And no insurance. I had twins coming. And I said, I'm more afraid of what God will do if I don't answer this call. You know, a lot of times, Sunday morning I preach here, and I'll be honest with you, and this is not my notes, and I just feel like I need to share this. And Sunday morning, sometimes I preach a salvation sermon, and I'm like, God used that in a mighty, mighty way. And I look back and I wonder why no one moves. Those individuals who are lost, you kind of say, okay, I'm more afraid to walk forward during an invitation in a church of people that love me, that hug me. I had to tell my mom to sit down 5 times during the welcome. You know, quit hugging people, so sit down. She goes, you better hush. You know, but we're more afraid to come in here and walk to the altar that someone's going to make, no one will make fun of you. And we would rather face hell than walk down the aisle for Jesus.
Amen.
And here's the deal. If you don't know him, you ought to have a fear about what eternity's going to hold for you.
Amen. Preach.
Lost my notes, Mark. I've got to come back into it. I'm just telling you. Shoo, my goodness. I go home sometimes, I say, Trish, I can't believe it. And then she has to remind me, you know, Tom, it's not you the one that's doing the call. The Holy Spirit draws into the Lord. You just got to relax. Hey, are you an overcomer? Are you a conqueror today? Are you?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I want class participation this time, okay? Class participation. Go ahead and put the next slide up there for me. All right. Here's what I want you to do. When you have some fear in your life, you might want to write this down. You might want to screenshot it. Take a picture of it right now and post it somewhere so it's always right on your forehead so you look right backwards so when you look in the mirror you can read it. But hey, do something with this, okay? I'm not afraid. God doesn't want me to live this way. I will trust God for better things ahead. He is always faithful.
Amen.
You know what? Sometimes whenever Satan attacks me, I scream, Satan, get behind me! People, you might be sitting beside me at the thing, and I'm not talking to you. You're by the traffic light, and I scream that, and your window's down, mine's down, and I scream that. I'm not really talking about you. But what I'm saying is, sometimes I have to say that out loud for me. Okay? I want you to say this out loud. Will you say it with me real quick? I am not afraid. Anybody out here? Anybody going on? Say it out loud with me.
I am not afraid.
Next slide.
God doesn't want me to live this way. I will trust God for better things ahead. He is always faithful.
Do you believe that? I'm telling you what, I was putting that, I'm telling you what, God doesn't want me to live in fear. God don't want me to worry about tomorrow. He don't want me to worry about 10 years. I have to lay my children, my finances, my wife, my spouse, everything. I have to lay his feet and say, God, you are always faithful to take care of things. I'm putting it in your hands.
Amen.
I'm trusting you. I know you don't want me to live in fear because you gave me power, you gave me strength, and I'm an overcomer. Now, you know what you did when you just shouted that? I'm going to CrossFit. Too much giggling going on. Instantly, I become Tim Conway. I was like, but here's the thing. Some of you young people, Tim Conway, look him up. You'll love it. It's fun. Here's this. When you scream that, you know what you just did? You exercised your faith. Woo! I just exercised. Hey, I'm not afraid. God doesn't want me to live this way. I'm trusting Him for better days ahead. And what? He is always faithful. That's my God. That's my God. So, yeah, it's yours too. Yeah, you're allowed to use it. You're allowed to use it. He's so strong, he can take care of all of it. My mom. Yeah. She's the only one to interrupt the pastor and get away with it. The rest of the time I've been going, security. Yeah. 2 Timothy 1:7. Look at 2 Timothy 1:7. Look at this. God gives us a progression of things. When you're afraid, He doesn't give you a spirit of fear. He gives you power. Amen. Guess what? God's got the power to overcome anything. All right? And He will work that for you. Guess what? You got a God that loves you. Do you think God would let something happen to you that He wouldn't want to happen to you? There might be a learning lesson, but I'm telling you what, the God that loves you wants to take care of you, and He'll supply all your needs. And guess what? If your day is the day you're going to die and you breathe your last, guess what? He loves you so much, He's got a mansion waiting for you. You know what that means? You know what that means? Discipline. That means you have to have self-control. I started thinking about this, and do you realize self-control is not a natural thing? You put a kid in the room and you tell them, hey, don't touch those cookies, guess what? They're going to eat those cookies. Me and the guy I work with, Chris back here, it's like, don't touch that button. And we go, well, it does. Sorry. Shut down the plant. And guess what? We can't practice self-control. It's not natural. The serpent said that to Eve and Adam. Hey, look at that. Looks appealing. Appealing an apple. Practicing self-control is not natural. We like to, I like to go up to the people and go, you got any feelings left in your teeth right now? That was a workout in itself right there, I tell you. But here's the deal. We can focus on the negative, we can enlarge everything, and we brace our worst fears, and what happens is we get something and it's like, you know how kids are. This is where, I'm all anymore. Worst nightmare ever. It's laying there. Where you go? Let me see. I pulled it out 5 minutes ago. What? You did what? Oh, it doesn't really, it's all bad. Isn't that what we do? Okay? My wife, she's really hungry. We got this thing, anytime I got a Band-Aid on, and certain parts of my body that are more hairy than others, not like I got so much here, but other places. And I say, okay, Trish. I say, you rip it off. She goes, oh yeah. You know, and I'm kind of worried about that. And if I do it myself, I'm just thinking about all the pain and the scabs that come off with it, and it's going to be all over. I'll be starting the whole thing again, and I go, ow, ow, ow. Now, I cut scissors, cut the hair. She goes, Kevin, come here. And she gets that look like, and she'll go. I say, okay, what will I do, Trish? I say 3. She goes, yeah. You never know if that's 1, 2, but I go 1. Ah! She goes, so you're just waiting on 3. Let's go. She just rips that baby off. And I tell you, to be honest with you, it never really hurts as bad when you yank it as fast as when I do it so slow. Because my mind starts thinking about all the things, each hair that's coming off, the scab that's stuck in there. And that's the way we ought to do it about life. God, you've given me power that I can face anything. I got to tell you, we got men and women who are veterans that have, you want to talk about courage and facing your fears? There's nothing natural about grasping your mind and running towards someone else, knowing that you could possibly die. But they did something, and they conquered the very thoughts. Galatians 5:22 says self-control. Self-control is a fruit of the Spirit. 5:22 and 23. We don't have time to go there. Write those down. There's flashing up there. Go to verse 23. Gentleness, self-control. That is one of the fruits of the Spirit. The Spirit, Holy Spirit coming inside of us. All right? Now, to become fearless, there's some thinking things that we need to do. We need to be transformed. Go to Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect. Hey, you're a Christian, you're the first transformer. You have been transformed by the renewing of your mind. You want to be able to overcome your fears? Guess what? Grasp those things, those thoughts, those things. Say, hey, that's not from God. I'm not going to be afraid of that. I am transformed. I have Jesus living inside of me, the Holy Spirit giving me power, and I'm going to overcome this, and we're going to get through this.
Amen.
We're going to get through this. Let me give you another translation or another definition of the word fear. Put that up on the scale. Thank you. Fear, the attitude of the heart that seeks a right relationship to its source. An attitude of the heart that seeks a right relationship to its source. Let me say this. Listen to me. If you're sitting here today, you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you've never trusted Him as your Lord and Savior, you better be afraid. Amen. One thing about fear that I have is I want to be right with God. Righteousness, right with God. Put the next slide. A lot of people want to have a get out of hell free card. I used to play Monopoly all the time with that get out of jail free card. We want to get out of hell free card. And what we'll do is we'll have some time and we'll say a little prayer. So God, please forgive me. I want to be saved. And then we live like the world the rest of the time. Salvation may have taken the fear of hell away, but never, ever let it take away your holy fear of being a righteous connection with God. Amen. If you're a Christian, guess what? Live like it.
Amen.
Amen.
Someone else is watching. When in doubt, do without.
Amen.
Live for Him. so that someone else is watching you. You say, hey, well, they're doing it. They must be okay. They say they go to church. Guess what? 80% of the people in the world think they're going to go to hell. Where are they?
Amen.
David, man after God's own heart. Psalm 56:3. I'll close with this. We have Psalm 56:3. David said, when I'm afraid, I will put my trust in you. But then to drop down to verse 11, look what it says here. In God I have put my trust. I shall not be afraid. What can man do to me? Sound like he's a little bit afraid. He's starting to say it out loud again. God, I'm not going to fear anything. Make up your mind, David. Are you afraid or are you not? And guess what? He was afraid. But he was trusting God. He was both. Verse 11 again. In God I put my trust. I shall not be afraid. What can man do to me? Like I said, don't be afraid about what man can do to you. You better be afraid of what God
Amen.
can do. If you have not trusted Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior, today you can. We'll give a hymn invitation in a few moments. You can walk forward and say, hey, I want to trust Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Hey, I trusted Jesus Christ and I want to follow him and believe his baptism. Hey, I don't have all the answers. I'm kind of afraid right now. But hey, I want to talk to somebody. Each one of those will take you outside to another room, explain to you, show you what God's word says, and let you make that decision. Maybe you're looking for a church home. We'd love to have you be a part of this church. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We're not really all crazy. We're good people. I guarantee you'll get more hugs here than what you'll get anywhere else. And I'm not a huggy person. I'm like, oh, gosh, I've grown to love them. My little kid, she'll come running up and she'll hug me. And then I got a new person that's coming. She calls me Creature Tony. Instead of preacher, she calls me, she's only 3. She's Creature Tony. I just love that. I am a creature. I'm a creature of God. Say, hey, I want to be a part of this church. Maybe you have some fears that you're afraid of every day, day in and day out. You wake up, it's the first thing on your mind. You go to bed, it's the last thing on your mind. In your sleep, you're actually dreaming about it. And you wonder how God's going to handle it. Hey, maybe you need to come to the altar and get down on your knees and humble yourself before God, before man, and say, hey, I'm turning it over to you. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow. And I know he loves me. I know he's going to give me power. And I know he's going to give me strength to go through anything that I'm going to face. Even if it's death. I sat beside Mark and Steve's mom. She had passed intensive care. I'll never forget the words Jake said, his wife, laying out there. He walks up. He says, oh, the sight she must have seen now. Nothing to fear.